Yeah, the end. The girls at the end.
I just need to know how to fade it to black, right?
Fade into and out of black. It's shift, hold down shift,
in this,
and then fade to black.
All right, I can do that right now while they get ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
There you go.
And then when we get ready to record, because they're going to count down, right? 1, 2, 3, get down. Once it count down, I hit shift and record, right?
Yes.
And that's going to automatically, then I hit play.
Oh, you mean when you want to start recording? I think it's just pressing record itself.
No, I think shift and record. You want me to move the chairs over here for y'all? Okay. But you want to put more chairs in there for them? No, they're going to be doing artwork. They was going to be doing it on the floor, but you're going to be able to see them down here. Oh, okay. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to just bring them in at the end and let them come say hi. Well, I mean, they can sit in there. You don't want them sitting in the back? You sit in the back? You don't want them sitting in the back? Oh, like in the back? On those chairs. On those chairs, you can probably do this. Well, I'm full with the problem. Y'all gonna come on the side. What's your name again? Malia and what's your sister name? Miley. Okay, so come on, Malia and Miley. Right. No. We need matching chairs for them. Huh? Oh, Lord. Chairs ain't matching. Go. Go? Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we getting ready. We ready to start. I just want to make sure that this camera got all of them in that picture.
Okay.
I faded to black, so
All right, I'm gonna fade it back up.
yeah, fade back up and look at the camera to make sure.
Just to let you know,
Huh?
we have the red chairs in the kitchen you can use instead of that tall one if you want, so match.
That's him. That's what
It's up to you.
What you want to use?
No,
We have those red diner chairs to match those, if you want.
it?
Oh, it
There's like two of them in the kitchen if you want.
Yeah. So we trying to get all.
I got it. Yeah, that's easy. sort of, go out there and fix the cameras. Right? No one's nervous, right? No one ever seems like people.
So,
See, now I got mind struck.
okay.
I got mind struck.
I could guess. I could get their names.
I can't do that, bro. That's too much.
Did you want it?
Pull mine up. No.
No,
That's too
okay.
low.
All right.
So that's how, so hold on, that's 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna still fix it.
Okay, so that's 3.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure. Have a seat. This way I can get you to the shot.
Yeah, so they bring more guests. I mean,
What?
they got more people, so. You got it like that.
What you gonna say is that? Look who's back.
How many people is it total?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. God only knows how these mics are.
It's only 2 people talking though.
2 in
I
the
mean,
front.
2 in the front, the other 2 in the back. It's not.
Oh,
So you want them to have,
Oh.
to have a microphone?
no. Nah, not necessary. No, just the 2 in the front.
2 in the front. Are they gonna be talking? So they need a mic. So what I gotta do? Go get the handheld mic?
Yeah, they can pass it to each
Yeah, that. I think all of them need that, right?
No.
Okay.
There's 2 wires in the front.
So the mic is in the
They got
cabinet,
wires
right?
in the front.
Let's take care of this chroma key first.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's all right, I'll get it. I mean, I'm already here, so.
Ted. This what they need should be.
No,
There we go.
just a regular hand with a wire.
It's
Black
right.
wires. It's in a black pouch. Sennheiser.
There we go. One here, drop the smoothness down here, and increase this one just a little bit. She's wearing green, but I got it,
No, that's
so that it's not see-through. One in the back here, she has to move more to the left in order to be seen. And this one can move more here.
You told me you have 1, 2 guests.
Man, I don't see no microphone with no cord.
It's in a black pouch.
I got a pouch here. There's a microphone.
That's the hand. You need now the wire. Plug it in the wall.
The wire is up here too.
No, it's
One-
right
there's
here.
one left up there. Don't touch the camera.
Which one
Yeah, just fix it. Gotta move the girl.
Wearing that green, I'm trying to get it to not be see-through. And then we can increase this a little bit. Oh, shit. Okay. It's that shadow on the bottom right.
Bad planning, bad planning.
Oh, well, that's community TV. I had that with Deborah last night with Cancer Day, right?
This one, right? This one, yes? Jeff?
Yes.
Always see it.
Moved it.
You want the wire?
Bring it behind the couch.
You just put it here for now, when you need them.
That's mama.
Yes, Mama.
That's just extra moves.
I know, where we am. So like a AM. Oh no, it's like my son. Yeah.
Push on now.
Yeah, my son is a coding expert, he's self-taught. And, you know, we wanna also, he's still a kid, but, you know, he's got that gift that he can teach other children.
Tell them.
How to use
I
code.
need to speak with y'all because I've been trying to do a kid show for the longest. And it's so hard.
That table. We have to try to get that black table,
Exactly.
bottom right-hand side.
Move it out of here?
Make it this
I
way.
think that's why we should
All right.
study, I think it's so important for people to see, you know.
Just move it more that way.
Yeah, that's better.
I've had kids.
I can manage that.
Parents, but I've never had kids that speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my problem is he's so high on that chair.
He need a better chair,
He
right?
needs a lower one. You know,
John,
this
he said
one-
you need a lower chair.
Yeah, take a look at it. You're so high up. I mean, hold on, I'll get you another one.
Because we're all short. We're all the shorties, we're the shorties. Shorties in the house.
Shit would have been fun. Set the shot.
Watch out with the
See, where you at?
kids.
That's what I was
What are you doing, Miley? You gotta describe what you're doing. You are doing what? What are you making? Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the right one.
Huh? Yeah, I think the red one would be better, but you
This is
said
a
you didn't want
bridge,
this
it
one.
can be a bridge that
A little
you
bit-
can
a little bit
English,
lower?
you can use it
Want
on
the
your
red?
hair.
Right, that's
What is it called
the
again?
same height as that. I was just sitting on the pillow.
Jellyfish. Yeah. Jellyfish weaving. And where is it originated? Do you
That's what I
remember?
said the first time.
Japan. Yeah, it's a Japanese weaving style. And why do you like doing it?
So we want the real one,
What
right?
do you like about it?
Yeah, that will put you at the right height.
Oh, Lord.
If you need a seat cushion to sit on, I'll get you one.
He got one, he got one.
Yeah, the camera won't again.
The colors make you happy? Yeah. I don't know that I prepared that.
They make a lot of noise.
Wait a minute, give me a friggin' chance. I'm setting it up for you. Jesus.
Good enough.
That's two. Now he looks a lot better. Now this is headroom. If you can tell him to move just a little bit closer, because they got all this empty space here, so he just moves up to here. You think so?
I don't know. Now you wanna move over, look, just look. Right there, right there. Cool.
All right, that's good enough. Just want to get rid of that left table spot over there. Okay, that looks pretty good. That
Yeah,
looks
that's cool.
manageable. That looks, I'll tighten them up a little bit more. There we go. The only thing I can't get rid of is this because
That's cool.
she's sitting
That's
so
cool.
The
close. to
problem
wall.
is, it looks like they're pointing in the wrong direction.
No, they're shooting this way is the
Yeah,
line.
he's that way.
Yeah, and then he's on the other side, S.I.N.Y. Look. They're sitting here.
Yeah, but that couch has to rotate.
I guess he's saying they need to be that way.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they could a little bit
See how
more.
they facing
they're
like
looking
this?
like the
Yeah,
opposite direction.
So go here, they want this to go.
All right,
this way.
then you would have to just shift it a little bit.
Shift it, they
Yeah,
rotate the couch.
rotate it this way, yeah. Okay.
You shifted?
Still ain't no way.
That's still in there, huh?
I'm just gonna mind my business.
Yeah, that's it. Move the other.
Needs to push her side back. Girl in the queen.
Yeah, you got a lot of people on the set, that's the whole thing.
So that's it, man.
Just let it go.
Yeah, so all three, let's roll, let's roll.
Yeah, hold on here. He wants me to fix.
So all the microphones work, right? All the microphones work.
Okay, that's the best they can do, considering there's so many people on the set.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, now that looks real.
That's
You ready to roll?
Nah, I gotta
Okay.
fix some wires, man. Every time they
Yeah.
move, it makes it.
Just don't move them.
Yeah, tell them they gotta move. Yeah, just put them on the ground.
Sure.
It's just when you brush the wires, it sounds like sweat. ASMR.
Yeah. So it sounds a lot better now. Tell me. Listen.
Yeah, no,
So them two stay on mute?
Get the feedback?
no, I just turned them off because it was making so much.
It's like
You gotta
a,
be still, man. All that stuff.
it's like a whole category on YouTube where people do scratching and popping things.
Tell them they-
Right, yeah.
Sit there.
It's under ASMR, and you'll find all of them.
You ready?
It's gonna be noisy, man.
All
So,
right, we go here, right?
that's ready, click it once.
Sit down. Keep that in the yard, right?
No, when you get ready to start, you're gonna hit the one up here on top. See what it says? Yeah, don't hit it yet.
And you just can.
Now just hit stop. Right. Hit that arrow, look. See that arrow down there going that way?
Okay,
Yeah. That's it.
Hello.
Let's get started.
The clock.
Oh, yeah.
How
How long
long
is
is
this
it?
show? 28. What is it, 28?
So we're not doing an hour.
I don't know how long.
We're doing an hour.
57, 58? Oh, yeah, because you started.
Shut
Oh,
up.
no.
She gets a pass.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I love it.
So listen, it's fade to black. That's right.
The clock is right. So this is the time here. It's gonna be
Alright, so
counting down.
everything is in
And
place.
then I guess we need to know the real time. That's the real time up there. It's not really
And handle it now. So it's gonna be a 10-second countdown.
So then, when you shift and record, right? When you get,
No, it's only record. Shift and records to stop.
okay.
All right, 10 seconds, zero. Hit 58.
We ready? All right.
Well, that's when the opening starts.
All right, cool.
All right. Stand by. Okay, I'm gonna hit the clock first.
Little break?
9, 8, 7, 6,
5,
How much can you give for a 2 minute?
fade up.
fade up. It's
Shift, yeah. Here you go.
We both have the same thing.
Is he in?
Well, he's on yeah, you don't have to touch nothing.
I know. Until you get to the top.
So it's automatically gonna cut to him.
Oh, shit. Son of a bitch.
We back here and we got a great show lined up for y'all. If some of my guests look familiar, you might remember them from a few weeks ago, which is Adama, and we also have Maya, and we also have Malia
Any
and
one of them.
Miley. Right? So let's just get this show off the road. Let's get it started. Adama, and I'm still saying it wrong. Please give them a brief introduction for you again, and Maya, after she's done, then you can give them your brief introduction.
Hello everyone, my name is Adama, and I am a local Staten Island for the past 5 years. I have a newly found nonprofit organization with my partner here called the Healing Threads, and we're here to talk about that.
Okay.
Hello everyone, hi, my name is Maya, and I'm also the co-founder of the Healing Threads Wellness Collective, rooted here in Staten Island. I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I consider myself also a Staten Islander, so it's great to be here today.
All right, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's just take it from the top. This is a newly found organization. Please give us the background on this organization and, how did, why, the who, what, where, and why. We need to know.
Sure. So, this organization started from, Anna and I have both
Yeah, one time.
many years of experience
So at the
and have
end,
experience
it's
working with communities, especially in outreach. And we felt that this was the right time for us to venture out on our own and create what we have now, this nonprofit organization called the Healing Threads Wellness Collective.
Okay.
It comes from lived
See that
experience to
check
begin
where it
with,
says auto
but it
play?
also comes
Take that
from
off.
the ability to see what's going on in the communities and share with locals and see where there's a lot of need. And from being able to work with other organizations to see, there's a lot of communities
You get ready to
that
play that?
incredibly need help and they're not
As soon as
necessarily
you
getting the
click play,
resources that
just
they
hit
need
DDR1.
because of whatever barriers they're meeting or they're coming across. So that's basically where all of this came from. We felt that it was the right time for us to go on our own, not only because we've lived through that experience, we've worked with the communities, but also because we bring some special gifts into this community. We're both certified in many areas, and we felt that this was the right time to put those gifts into our own organization, and this is where the birth of the Healing Threads came from.
Okay.
We met from another organization, and the work that we thought we were going to be doing for this organization was not what it was. So our hearts were not in it.
Right.
We decided, okay, I think it's time that we both had many years experience, and the part of it all that was very heartbreaking for us is we're not able to reach the communities like we want to, the work that we wanted to do was just, not happening. So we were just like, let's just go do our own thing. Yes, we know it's not gonna be easy, but, our heart is in it. We know exactly what it is that we want to offer the community, so, yeah. We're
Right.
just gonna keep grinding until we are able to reach as many people as we can. It's our responsibilities, especially having children, to be able to bring healing to the community. It's needed.
It's much needed out here.
Yes, definitely.
And I commend y'all from, taking a bad situation and making it good. Because no matter how bad things may get or may seem, there's always some good in there. And, instead of focusing on the bad part, you have to find the good and pull that out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think we bring something a little bit more different that a lot of the organizations that we worked with do. And it's the fact that we're not clinical. We're not here to judge. We're not here to make things structured or linear. We're here to bring healing in a fun and expressive way. We want people to be able to come as they are, and from there move on to maybe finding clarity so that they can find their purpose in a way that aligns with what they have inside. We want that light to shine through. So I think we bring a little bit of so many tools and techniques that are based around creativity, which is what I think a lot of people need. They need to be able to express themselves, especially when words are hard to come by. People don't carry their words on their shoulders and tell the world what's going on in their lives. But when you give them certain tools and techniques, you let their hands do the talking. And when you let their hands do the talking, you'll see some beautiful masterpieces that come out of that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to align with what's inside of them, and that's how they get to start feeling safe. They start to see that they're being heard, they're being seen, and then from there we can continue on to provide them with the tools and the resources that they need to be able to move on in life and to accomplish whatever it is that they want to accomplish, being their goals, their dreams, or even to succeed in life.
Right.
And it brings them so much pride when they create something. Even like my girl, she was so happy today. She got to sew her first time, because I've been keeping the needle away from her because I'm just like, you're not ready yet for that. But today I was just like, let's try this. So she made something using a needle, and she was so very proud of it. And I think that's the whole point of creative wellness, using creativity to heal. It really does, like just that feeling after you create something, it takes you to a whole nother, space. You feel so much, so much joy from creating, knowing that you made something. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just, knowing that, okay, I did that, and I'm going to keep doing that until it gets better.
Right. They say practice makes perfect, but in this world, we can't seek perfection, because it's just like the blind leading the blind. There's never going to be perfect. You understand what I'm saying? So we just have to accept that and not be so hypercritical over ourselves, So, please let us know all the services that you offer, because are you like community health people also?
Yes.
It's much needed. That's needed also.
Part of the work that we do is based around mental and emotional wellness. So we make the point to make it a focus to help people slow down, to reflect, to engage in community programs that, because sometimes, there's the saying that says it takes a village. So a lot of times we can be neighbors and not know anything about each other. So I think communication and connection is very important for us to be able to heal, not as an individual only, but also as a community. So, so that's the purpose, to give people a space, or even give them a place where they can come and just, relax, reflect, to reconnect with themselves, but also with others, in a way that it feels nurturing, in a way that it feels that it's safe, and the way they can be heard. So we created many workshops and programs based on that. They're all intergenerational, so they can be catered to different age groups. It doesn't have to be a specific form or anything like that. But we include elements that are kind of all related, but then there are other areas where we like to have people explore a little bit more. So if we have children from like Miley's age, we make sure that we give them tools that are age appropriate, so that that they can work around them and use them to bending, glue and stuff like that. It sounds simple, but sometimes you want to make sure that they're using tools that are safe for them to use.
Right.
You know, and then we do the same thing for teenagers or for seniors. So everything is adaptable, everything can be interchangeable, but we make sure that we include everybody. Nobody's excluded from our programs and workshops. We want everybody to feel like they can come to us and get a service that is, you know, particular to their needs, but also something that they can continue with, you know, using it once they leave our studio or leave our space or even leave our class.
Okay.
So you know, so everything is adaptable, which is what we wanted to do from the very beginning. We don't want to feel that anybody is excluded from having these experiences. But Adama is great at explaining what our workshops and programs are, because she puts a little heart more into it.
So the programs that we have are all, you know, just like Maya said, it's really for everyone, every demographic, every age range. I feel like we put a lot of thought into it because, you know, we want to make sure that we are able to reach as many people as possible. You know, it takes a community, it takes a village. So we do have, one of them is the Mindful Mondays, which is, it's a support group pretty much, where we all come together and we just talk, you know, we explore different topics, you know, it could be anything, but it's just to get us to get to know each other, just to, you know, just to talk about, it doesn't have to be about feelings, it doesn't have to be about what you're going through, but it's just conversation, you know, conversation around whatever it is, more like socializing really. So, you know, that's something that I really, I feel like people do need. A lot of people are so stuck here on their phones, so that having that face-to-face interaction is always a good thing. Another program we have is our Tea Wednesdays, which is where we get to explore with different types of teas and their healing benefits, which is pretty cool to me. I love tea, so I am, this is my arena. But, you know, I feel like tea, you know, you can have it hot or cold, but it's something about just sitting down and having a cup of tea that calms you. You know, and a lot, I don't think a lot of people do know that different kinds of teas have different, you know, healing properties, healing benefits. You know, I know this is a coffee culture, but yeah, you know,
but it's like a specific brand that everybody runs out there to get. You don't know what you're putting in your body.
Exactly. So, you know, I feel like tea is definitely, you know, it's a root. It's usually flowers, it's herbs, it's, you know, it's medicine. It's medicine, you know. People do get a lot of healing. That's why you see, like, in other parts of the world, even for me, like growing up, that was what we drank every morning, was a root, you know, it's a herb that my dad will have us take a shot of every morning. You know, we can heat it up or we can, you know, have it just as it is, but it's healing. It's, you know, it helps you in all ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. It just regulates you.
Right, and it's healthy.
And it's healthy, you know, you don't need, you don't need all the extra things. Most of them you really don't need to add any sweetener. You're good with just your, you know, just as it is.
Well, I don't know.
You can if you want to. You can have your sweetener, you can have honey, you can have sugar, whatever you please, you know, just to enhance it too. Because certain, especially like the flower teas, you do need a little bit of sweetener to enhance the flavor. It's
but it's
better.
To each his own.
Exactly. So we you know, we want people to be able to explore that part of wellness, of healing. And what else? We have our Social Saturdays. Social Saturdays. So that is also where we have a meet where we'll do like board games or self-reflection where we'll do that. This is more of like
It gives you a variety of things that you can do using board
Yeah.
games. You'll be surprised what board games can do. You know, they can improve critical thinking, they can actually do engagement, because we want people not just to play with the same age groups, we want people to play with the 80-year-old, you know, neighbor.
Exactly.
You know, that can teach them a couple of things. It's all about engagement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does create other areas where people can, you know, especially the youngsters nowadays that, you know, having trouble with self-regulation, you know, with relaxation, and so those kind of moments can be fun, but at the same time, it's teaching you something else, which is to calm down, to, you know, think critically while you're playing, when you're making moves, when you're engaging with somebody else.
Right.
So, you know, that's just a fun way for the community to come together, but at the same time, take advantage of the benefits of doing this kind of social event with different age groups in the same room.
Yes, I mean, that's also much needed, not to cut you off. It's just like, you have so many great things going on, you know. I'm just like, wow, I'm knocked out over here. The biggest thing was the electronic devices. It's so hard to get these kids to put that down. And, you know, see, I got that included in every single one of the activities. So.
Yes.
And we don't want to exclude technology, because we know the importance of having technology, and we know the benefits of having knowledge of how to navigate the system when it comes to technology. But we also see our youngsters are too you know, controlled by these devices, and unfortunately, you know, they're going through some difficulties when it comes to self-regulation. You know, you can't take a gadget away without this child, you know, having a meltdown because you took it away. So, you know, we want to be able, once we have our own space, we want to be able to have some computers so that kids can come and use them, but use them in a proper way to do homework or to navigate the system in a safe way. You know, they can play a video game if they want, but video games that are age appropriate. You know, not something that's gonna make them even more edgier than they already are. You know, we don't want to see that. But we know the benefits of technology. Like I said, I have an 11-year-old son who taught himself how to code. You know, and we went through a little bit of a situation where he was using coding not necessarily for the best things. So I've been kind of like pulling him away from that and teaching him how he can create little avatars and gadgets, or even little things that he can use to improve other children's way of doing homework, or, you know, other ways of, you know, engaging in other games that are safe. So we know the benefits of it. We don't want to take all that away from them, but there's a proper way of using these things. So that's one goal that we also want to have. And also have computers where anyone from our age group who needs a resume to be updated, we can help them do that. Or find resources from the community that they need, but they don't know how to navigate the system. We're more than happy to help them to do that. So there's a lot of things that we're hoping to do. You know, and there's other programs that, you know, that we're slowly kind of putting into place as well. You know, as a photographer, you know, I did photography for many years, but I didn't see my heart in it anymore. But then I found an outlet where I felt like, well, I can still use photography to help people build their self-confidence. And that's another thing that we're incorporating in there, how to get people to see themselves in a different light while improving their confidence to, you know, go get a job if they need to, or, you know, build on it to create a platform or a website where they can
You want me to do that?
promote themselves or promote their work. You know, just to build that confidence in them. So there's other ways that you can use those kinds of tools to benefit someone else's life, their life, or whatever it is that they're having to go for. So, you know, there's so many things that we're trying to create that we know it's different from what we normally see, because like I said, we don't want anything to be so clinical. We want it to be in fun and engaging. So there's a lot of things that Adama and I sit down and every day we explore and say, hey, what if we do this? Hey, what if we do that? So, you know, there's so much still that's in the works, but that we really, really feel that it will be very beneficial for the communities that we work in.
Right, and appreciate it. It's much needed. You know, people don't understand how when you come from just something totally different when you come out here, and it's such a culture shock when you come here. It really is. You're from Brooklyn, like I'm from Brooklyn, and you know, I can't imagine having neighbors and you don't interact with your neighbors. But here, that's like the normal here, you know, which is crazy.
That's
You
crazy.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the areas that they pick and choose which one gets the services is another crazy thing because we're all one, united. So if you're bringing up this area over here and you're ignoring this area over here, this area drops down too.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so what are your target areas here? Is it the whole entire Staten Island? Or are the areas, Stapleton gets a lot of, Park Hill also. You know, I live in the area of Richmond Terrace in New Brighton, which gets nothing, okay? So I hope we're on your list of areas that, you're doing outreach in, you know, you're looking for a physical location?
We are.
That's our main goal.
Yes,
Okay.
that's really because, you know, a lot of the programs that we do offer, we can come to a space, but I feel like having our own space makes it a lot easier to be able to facilitate these classes, you know, especially like I'm talking about the Wednesday teas. You know, it would be nice to have our own space to be able to have that where we, you know, slow down, hang out, and just sip on your tea. That's very hard to be able to transport that across the island, you know, to go here and there. But yeah, so that's our you know, our main goal is to definitely get a physical location. We are hoping to serve all of Staten Island, really, you know, but our focus obviously is the marginalized communities. We want to make sure that the communities that are not getting the, you know,
Arlington,
yeah,
okay,
you know,
Arlington needs it.
exactly.
Mariners Harbor.
Yep.
Okay. It's like there's certain areas that just get overshadowed.
Yes,
And
yes,
I've been living here 16 years, and it's like you expect a change, and it's like a decline. Okay,
Yeah.
they didn't have nothing when I came here, and now they got nothing. So I don't know how you go from nothing
All right.
to nothing.
Nothing.
Right. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's sad because a lot of the organization, the so-called organization that are supposed to take care of the community that are in the community are not doing that work either. So, you know, exploiting, you know, the whole thing.
We saw while we were working with the last organization.
Yeah.
But, you know, Adama did this wonderful thing. She basically ran the Open Streets program with the organization that we were working with. And the few times that I went there to assist her, we were working with a lot of children in the community, and we saw a lot of issues in terms of literacy. Half of these children couldn't read, and they were already in the 2nd and 3rd grade. And I'm like, how is this happening? You know, some of them were just all over the place. So we would throw paintbrushes, things for that at them just to see what they would gravitate to. And those kids loved putting little pieces together, loved doing puzzles. You know, like to draw and paint. You know, and they made a mess, no problem. We'll clean it up later. But we started to see where there was a lot of need. And
Especially engagement.
engagement, absolutely.
Yeah,
But we were really shocked with the whole literacy thing because, you know, we were like, wait a minute, this child is already in 5th grade and they can't read simple words. And we tried to create a literacy program, and unfortunately it was shut down.
It got shut down.
So,
So all the things that, you know, we were firsthand, you know, with the community. I was the outreach manager, she was the office manager, and, you know, you came to one of the events where it was literally just me.
And your daughter was working also, you know.
You know, so when, you know, every Monday when I will have to give my report about, you know, what happened and all the programs that I feel like, you know, Maya and I will talk about, like, oh my gosh, this is needed. Can we do something like this? We'll go all, you know, a lot of the stuff we will start working on before we even present it. We've put in the time, you know, and then it gets shut down. It's like, no. So it's all of that that's very frustrating.
I came there. I took the tour, and then I said, oh, we can cover all of these walls with artwork. I called my team in, they agreed with it, and then nothing.
Nothing.
Right, nothing happened. And I feel art is very much needed in a lot of these communities because they look at their visual is,
Right.
you know, so how can that motivate them when they're looking at something like that?
Yeah.
That's very depressing.
Yeah.
You know, how the structure and the setup these neighborhoods have, you know, art should be included more and engagement,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
When I was growing up, I read everything. Okay, it's not just reading in books, it's reading. Okay,
It's reading.
right, it's just reading. We have words on our clothing, it's everywhere. And if you're not engaging them and pushing them and, you know, directing them to do that more, then you don't suffer, they suffer.
They suffer.
Okay, and they are the future. So, you know, just imagine the generations that come behind them.
Yes.
And we need to fix this. Once again, I commend y'all on the job that y'all are doing and that you took on. Because it's big here. It's real big here.
It's very big, yes.
I know we don't want to talk about it, but have you had any oppositions with what you're trying to do now?
I don't think with us particularly because I think we've kind of kept it, we've been
Okay.
trying to keep it on the low until we actually get really
Okay.
truly off the ground. But we've met some amazing people already
Great.
that are willing to work with us.
Great.
And so that's you know, that's the start for us to get through this. And you know, the only thing that we are finding a little bit of a barrier is with the 501c3, excuse me. So you know, we did all the paperwork, we're just waiting to get it. So you know, we don't have grants. So unfortunately, it's very difficult to get finances to be able to continue these programs, to bring these programs into the spaces. You know, because we are mobile right now. So a lot of the time, we're spending our own money in trying to run these programs. And it's okay because we love it. This is where our heart is. But we also single moms raising our children on our own.
Yeah.
So it can be difficult. But you know, once we get this off the ground, we definitely are going to go in there, you know, with our hearts on our sleeves, making sure that we reach as many people in the community as we can, especially with meeting the people who we're meeting, because we are meeting some amazing people. But we're very cautious as to who we talk to and who we want to work with, because we don't want to find ourselves again partnering with an institution or an organization that's going to feel like they can hijack what we're doing, and at the end of the day, the work that we truly want to do, the difference that we truly want to do, the community doesn't happen. And that's what we don't want to happen. You know, that's what we're trying to avoid, that these things do not happen. And it's not just that, we also created a curriculum that we want to bring into schools.
Okay.
And, you know, and again, it's adaptable. We can change it according to the grades, because we know there's a lot of mental and emotional issues in schools, with especially kids having a hard time at school, with bullying, you know, with the crimes in the community, with fear. So we created a curriculum based on the same thing, using creativity to get these kids to self-regulate, to calm down, to find a safe place. You know, so there's a lot that we're trying to do, and you know, we just hope that once we get the grants that we need, that we can actually move forward with intention and getting these things done the way that we envision.
Yes, and that's also much needed because the schools, I hate to say it, but you probably did more than the teachers, the principals, the chancellor, or whoever that is, have tried to done here. Okay, here everything is for treaties, but every child here is not accepted to for treaties.
Right.
And that becomes an issue there, you know. And then the curriculum, there's schools here that don't even have modern technology. There's kids here who are not benefiting from, you know, all the advancements that came in education. And like I said, we have teachers who they'll tell these children they can't have their phones, but then they're in the classroom or they're at the desk on their phone, you know, so it's like a catch-22. Like, why are you taking their phones, but then they have to sit there and watch you on your phone all day? You know, it can get frustrated because the average parent is like, oh, just let them take your phone, and they're not really looking into the bigger issue, okay? of classroom management, of what are the lessons, what kind of curriculum are you teaching here? You know?
And a lot of children have this, a lot going on at home. So school is supposed to be a safe space, at least a little escape for them. And then they're met with adults that really do not care. Or, the programs don't really work for them. There's not anything that is, really beneficial to them. So I feel like that's where outside programs come in to support. We're not saying that they are doing anything wrong, but we just want to offer an alternative, a different way of looking at things, a different way of approaching, because, I used to go to the schools and do programs there. So I see also the need there. And, a lot of teachers don't have the time to deal with that one kid that's just bad kid. It's just a bad kid. Well, yeah,
And then a lot of times that kid is not really
Exactly.
the bad kid. It's just that they label him the bad kid.
Yes.
And then they just carry that stigma with them. And they're like, well, I'm the bad kid anyway.
Yeah.
So let me just
I'm
do
gonna
something.
just act up anyway.
Right.
Yeah. When, there's an alternative way, there's a different way of approaching that kid. Have you tried talking to that kid? Have you tried giving that kid something else to do? Engaging in them.
Right.
Just a way for them to just, calm down, just stop for a minute, look at me. It's really heartbreaking when I used to go to the schools, because, it's just, oh, this kid is just really bad. And, they just give all the kids personal information out to you. And it's just like, okay, what do you do?
Right.
What have you done?
Right.
What is your plan? How do we make sure this kid, when this kid leaves here, going back home to the same situation, when they come back here to the same situation, because you're just labeling them.
Yes.
How about we give them a little grace? Like, how can we help them?
Right. And then a lot of them, it's like almost 80% don't have a home.
Yeah.
They're homeless kids that's going to school
Yes, they
now.
are. Yeah.
And that alone in itself, isn't too much to handle for
Yes.
children.
Yes.
For adults without a home, it's hard. But when children don't have that home, they don't have that security. When you don't have that security, it's like these walls come up because you don't know who's trustable, who's really trying to help you, and
It eats them up.
and you listen to them and you let them tell their story and just listen, you can help them more than just trying to treat them like a textbook. And this is what I find a lot with the schools. I had a lot of problems with my son in school, really all of my children, between the bullying with the children and then the bullying that we was just talking about, because I find that as a form of bullying, you know what I'm saying? Let you speak, let you observe, let you see for yourself. Don't tell me about this kid and what he did and, what he's capable of or whatever, because in reality you don't know really what they're capable of, okay? And they're always sitting on greatness, I want to tell one more story and I'm going to send it back to y'all. We have a performing arts school here, okay, that preyed on neighborhood kids, okay, for their funding, but these kids were not included in none of the performing arts programs. Okay.
It makes me angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what we're seeing a lot of, that a lot of people would say, well, but there are resources out there. I'm like, yeah, but what are they doing with those resources? Because obviously it's not going to the community.
Right.
Because that's where we're seeing. It's like if you're getting a grant to build a library and tackle literacy, then why aren't we having classes? Why aren't we having story time? So those are the things that Adama and I we're kind of like seeing every single day whenever we propose something. What about a class where parents can come and just spend a few hours painting with their children? It's interaction. They get to talk to their kids in a safe environment. Oh no, we can't do that.
And then it's something that they can take home also
Absolutely.
and do at home, and it don't have to be about school.
Hey, you
It's
bring
just
this
finding
up?
these connections, and that's a great connection
Okay,
to have.
hey, we got,
When you bring them in, you know what I'm saying? As a child, you might not want to see your parent there, but as a parent, you want to be there for your child. You want to see what the environment is. Those are like, I won't say like
So, let me ask you
second
that, how you
parents
use it,
or
though?
babysitters, but when you put your children in these people's hands, okay, you want to know that they're good.
Right. And it doesn't take a lot for you to take a moment just to specifically reach out to a child that may be going through a difficult moment.